What's up, everybody? I'm Blake Chancey, your trusted Tsawwassen real estate expert and your neighbor. Before I get started, it would really help me out a lot if you could hit that subscribe button below. Make sure you see more videos from me in the future. This week, Delta City Council and our mayor, George Harvie, has declined the application to redevelop the Tsawwassen Town Center, aka the Tsawwassen Towers development by Century Group, has been rejected. So needless to say, this has been a topic of discussion this week around all of South Delta, with thousands of residents chiming in on how they are taking this news. Now, I've already discussed this briefly on my other social media and had some incredible interactions with the people in Tsawwassen from Ladner and all of Delta. And so far, every single person that I've talked to has told me that they're actually thrilled about the decision by Delta City Council. To start, we should probably take a look at what Delta's official community plan is. Right now, Tsawwassen Town Center Mall is allowed to be redeveloped into further density for mixed use, including condos and commercial space. But right now with the OCP, the maximum allowable height is only for 6 stories. Now, there is an exception to this rule. If the developer makes a significant contribution to the community, then there is potential to allow for high rises. This news has been shared all across the province this week, and I'm going to share some of the news articles that are online. So let's start with what CTV had to share. A development company is pushing back after the city of Delta rejected a plan to build towers in Tsawwassen. Council voted unanimously on Monday against Century Group's proposal to redevelop the Tsawwassen Town Center Mall on the grounds that the project did not align with Delta's official community plan, which of course again is for 6 stories. This plan from Century Group had many large towers, 16 stories, 17 stories. I think the tallest was going to be 24 stories. President of Century Group said the decision sets a bad precedent for cities trying to increase their housing supply, which municipalities have been mandated to under the province's Housing Supply Act. The provincial government has actually picked 10 cities where they are forced to add further density into their communities, and the city of Delta is one of them. So the city of Delta, it's North Delta, Ladner, and Tsawwassen for reference. One of the things that Hodgins mentioned is that the goalposts to him and his perspective were consistently changing in terms of what he was being asked to do, or even what the criticism is from the city. And Delta Mayor George Harvie went back and he said the plan was rejected because it was out of step with what the residents want and what council has already agreed upon. And that's definitely in line with what I'm hearing from friends, neighbors, other people in the community. Harvie mentions, our community had a very strong feeling that they did not want to accept any forms of high rises. That's 100%. 6 stories in Ladner got a lot of feedback of negativity, like a ton. A 6-story building in terms of today's day and age, I think is a very reasonable approach to add some further density into our community and hit those targets before, the city actually loses their control and the province steps in and then forces us to build more. Hodgins also noted that the decision showed a lack of flexibility and uncertainty around how to pitch projects that increase density. Now, I don't really think that's a fair comment. If every single person is emailing the mayor and the feedback from the community is that we don't want towers, it's pretty simple. Like, the people have spoken, they don't want towers. Now, of course, that as a developer, the only way to make money is to maximize density on any property. Like right now, more than ever for a developer, like the profits are so minimal. We're lucky to even have this good of a developer offer to build out our community here. What they're doing in Southlands in Boundary Bay is absolutely incredible community. I love it there. Hodgins also notes that rather than, ask for more questions or more details about it, which council should have done, they simply just dismissed it and moved on, he said. I wasn't at the meeting. I probably should have gone. Can't really speak on that. Hodgins also said the modifications included reducing the building heights by 25% and cutting the number of units were not enough to get the proposal through. So actually in spring, there was another proposal, and since then, Sean Hodgins and Century Group cut the building heights by 25% and the number of units. But yeah, Delta City Council still rejected their new plan because it was a bunch of high rises. The community plan that Harvie cited was approved in 2024. It said the height for urban center designations is up to 6 stories with limited opportunities for up to 24 stories if there was a significant community contribution provided. So let's get into that. Hodgson said the proposal included such a contribution, including a dedicated space allocated to the Delta Hospital and Community Health Foundation, a grocery store, and a pharmacy. He said, we designated the project over the last 6 months to carve out space of 6,500 square feet to create a community clinic. But Harvie's rebuttal on that is there was no real consultation on the clinic prior to the council meeting, adding that the amenity would take way too long to build. Estimated timelines for this would be like 5 to 7 years, and that is definitely a lengthy period to wait for more help for our issues with healthcare around Delta. And looking at the article here, the quote right on point is, the earliest we would see an urgent and primary care center is at least 5 to 7 years. That's just not acceptable to us. Now, the city said it is open to future proposals from Century Group, so as long as they're in line with the official plan. So, I mean, from my point of view, it sounds to me like the council and mayor are more so looking for Century Group to revise a proposal with a maximum building height of 6 stories. This is definitely more in line with what the residents of Delta and specifically Tsawwassen are also aligned with. Now let's take a look at the article from our local newspaper, the Delta Optimist. A lot of similar topics in here. Council of Spring asked Century Group President Sean Hodgins to come back with revisions to his development proposal. And then recently he did come back with a different plan with reduced units, reduced height, but it wasn't enough to get passed forward. The new proposal was scaled back, focusing on developing just a part of the site with fewer units in a couple of phases. This revised plan also had shorter towers from 16 to 18 stories, down from the original 24 stories in the original plan that technically adhered to the site's designation in the new OCP with that significant contribution. The new plan also had commercial space, including a new larger Thrifty Foods, as well as 6,500 square feet for the urgent or primary medical care center. Of course, we've already discussed that. But yeah, City Council noted that they would rather see development plan for the entire site rather than just a few spots. And they have doubts of whether the space for a healthcare clinic was enough of a community amenity, given that there's current doubt the province and Fraser Health are even willing to have one in Delta. So, I mean, there's absolutely no question that Delta needs more help and more healthcare clinics. Just this year alone, our hospitals had multiple closures in the ER as recent as 2 weeks ago, I think. And that is just due to a shortage of staff. It's hard out there right now. I mean, imagine you're trying to go to the hospital on a Friday, Saturday night, and you can't get that urgent care you need. You got to go to another city. You're adding it to their numbers. It's just not an ideal situation for us as a community right now. I've seen a few clips online with George Harvie discussing that he thinks it would be like 5 to 7 years before Century Group could follow through with their plans to build a healthcare clinic, noting this is just too far in the future, and we as a city need to look elsewhere for a quicker, better solution. He's absolutely right. Imagine our population increases by another 5,000 people because of this development site, and in 5 to 7 years, by then we're going to need even more solutions in healthcare centers, especially with our aging demographic. I'm going to dive into my own personal opinion on this now with a couple of key points. I think that having this site redeveloped will be incredible, but I only want to see 6 stories as well. Tsawwassen is an aging community. You know, we need more condos. We need more places for people to live in general. Having new construction in the center of Tsawwassen where people don't necessarily need a vehicle and can walk to all the amenities, I think is incredibly important. Like, our aging demographic needs to be taken care of. And having them being able to live in the center of town, walkable to a grocery store, pharmacy, coffee shop, letting them live a normal life without the potential to even have a vehicle, I think is a great thing. And so I would really love to see that because, you know, there's a lot of retirees, boomers that are living throughout Ladner, Tsawwassen, Delta, and they're going to be downsizing one day, and they're probably going to be looking at single floor living close into the center of whatever community they choose to live in. So I really do look forward to the Tsawwassen Town Center Mall being redeveloped, but I don't want to see towers here. Like, we have to hit housing targets implemented by the province. Yes. We have to build more affordable homes. What's affordable these days? Nothing. I'm all for development, but I'm also for keeping the incredible vibe that Tsawwassen offers right now and sustaining that for as long as possible. I mean, another large issue is for our town is that we only have 2 major entrance and exits. Like, if we're adding 1,500 units into the center of town, I do think this is going to cause issues with daily traffic and probably be an issue for street parking, just like any other development anywhere. I would hate to see our community turn into a parking lot. Like, we have so many incredible things about Tsawwassen. One of the biggest is the family-friendly feel and charm that we have to offer. I don't want to see our community flooded with towers like what happened at White Rock. Anybody that I know that lives there is basically appalled by the towers and how it really changed the feel for their community. And I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, they're not going to be allowing for any more towers to be built in White Rock. Listen, I'm really curious to see what kind of feedback I'll get on here from everybody. It's definitely been lopsided on my other social media platforms. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and click the like button. I'm Blake Chancey, your neighbor and your realtor. Take care.